Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Kevin and this is the Wrenching Fool. So in this video we're going to be doing just a little bit of an update here. It's kind of an impromptu video, so apologize for the background and everything. But I wanted to give a quick update about what's going on with the buyback on my 2019 Chevy Bolt EV. There's been quite a bit that's happened since the last time I posted a video, and I do apologize, but it's been quite a long time since I posted a video. I plan to do another video sort of updating what's been going on with me and why I've been sort of absent from YouTube for quite a while, but that is a subject for another video. In this one, we're just going to talk about what's been going on with the buyback process on my Bolt. So just as a quick recap, if you haven't seen any of the previous videos about my experience with the buyback, I will put a link in the description about that, and I might put one up there at the top of the video too. But just as a quick recap, back in May of 2021, when we were still in the process of figuring out the recalls and everything and what to do about it, I contacted Chevy and initiated a repurchase claim back then in May of 2021. Seems like another lifetime ago at this point. And I did accept a trade repurchase offer from GM back in June of 2021. Again, it seems like another lifetime ago now. I was initially promised that the vehicle that I had ordered, which was a 2022 Bolt EUV, I was told that that vehicle would be built in October of 2021. So that was already going to be a little bit of a wait, considering that was in June when I made that agreement, but I figured it's worth it to wait to get the exact car that I wanted. Well, it's now the end of December 2021. It's Christmas Eve when I'm recording this, and I've still got my old Bolt. I've still got the 2019 Bolt. It's been almost 8 months now. So that brings us to today. But what's going on? Why don't I have my new car? Well, if you've been following the Bolt debacle at all, the recall has since been expanded to include every single Bolt ever built, including the brand new EVs and EUVs. And because the recall includes all of those new vehicles, they can't sell any of the ones that have already been built. And so production has been halted on the Bolt because they're trying to prioritize all the batteries for existing cars. You can't buy any of the ones that are sitting on the lot because they're all under recall. And you can't, I believe it's federal law, you can't sell a vehicle brand new that is under a current safety recall. So all of those ones that are sitting on the lot, they can't be sold, or at least they can't be delivered to a customer. It's estimated from the last that I've heard that they plan to restart production at the end of January 2022, but I'm really dubious about that, to be honest. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that they're going to be caught up enough on battery production to be able to do that. So let's kind of go over a little bit about what's been going on for me personally. Beginning of October 2021, I was informed that my specific Bolt was identified for priority replacement of the battery pack, which basically means that Chevy has identified that my car was built during a time where most of the failures seemed to be clustered. But I wasn't sure because I'm in the middle of a trade repurchase, I wasn't sure if I could replace the battery. Is it going to have any impact on that? Needless to say, I wanted to be sure. So I emailed my repurchase coordinator, who had been very timely about contacting me with different things, updates and whatnot. But the last response that I ever got from them about anything was October 20th in 2021. And I hadn't gotten any response about what would happen if I had the battery replaced. So on November 6th, since I had not been able to contact my repurchase coordinator for 2 or 3 weeks at that point, I emailed and started calling the person who I had contacted initially, or had been working with initially, when we were just starting to get the claim going, since that's the only other person I had to contact. And initially, I got no response from them either. I called multiple times, I sent multiple emails, no response from them at all. But on November 11th, I called them and I was finally able to get a hold of somebody They did a little bit of digging on their end, and they figured out that my repurchase coordinator, who I'd been working with for months at that point, was no longer working for the company. My case at that point was not associated with anybody at the company. Like, there was nobody taking care of my case, which is why I hadn't been getting any updates and nobody had been getting back to me. So they forwarded all my messages to the management team to see if we could get something sorted out. Fast forward then to November 17th, so another week later, I was contacted by the new repurchase coordinator. His name is Chris. He was very apologetic, but unfortunately he had no new information for me. The only thing that he did tell me is that just straight up battery replacement would absolutely void any repurchase claim. So I'm now stuck with a car that GM has identified as being the most problematic of all of them. I can't get the battery replaced unless I want to give up this trade repurchase. And I can't trade for any other car because, my knowledge at that point, there was nothing to trade for. They won't allow me to trade for any of the current inventory. There's nothing new being built. My car was supposed to be built at the end of January, but who knows when it's actually going to happen. So fast forward again to December 13th, a couple of weeks ago, which is a Monday, I was contacted by phone by my repurchase coordinator. And they were kind of vague about what was going on exactly, but they told me that there may be an option to get a new vehicle sooner, and that somebody would contact me with more options by that Wednesday. So that was Monday they contacted me. They said by Wednesday somebody else would contact me with more details. Well, Wednesday came and went, nobody contacted me. So I did contact my repurchase coordinator again, let them know, hey, you said somebody would call me by Wednesday, nobody's called me. They weren't sure exactly what was going on, just apologized for the delay, said they would forward it to their management team. So fast forward to the next Monday, the 20th, which was this past Monday, contacted again by my repurchase coordinator. They told me that this time somebody would contact me by Thursday, which is just a couple of days ago now. So, crossing my fingers, but Thursday comes and goes, almost to the end of the day, nobody's contacted me. Knowing that, it's Christmas Eve, and I figured a lot of places, including GM, would probably be closed in observation of Christmas on Friday, I contacted them before the end of the day, Thursday, and said, hey, nobody's called me, nobody's contacted me. And I was a little bit frustrated at that point. And I did make that frustration known to them as professionally as possible. That's important to stay polite and professional even when you're pissed off and, ready to make some heads roll. So I let them know that I was frustrated that they keep missing these deadlines. They set their own deadlines and then miss them. And so maybe 30 minutes later after I sent that email, I got contacted by someone who identified themselves as a project manager with GM, a reacquired vehicle management team. They again were very apologetic. They told me that GM, like the corporate level GM, was supposed to be taking care of this. A different team was supposed to be taking care of these contacts with customers regarding this new pilot program that they were doing. But they'd been delayed several times, and eventually the reacquired vehicle management team just sort of took over, and they were just now starting to get in contact with everybody and get this whole thing rolled out. But again, it's still really vague, like what's this pilot program? What's going on? And so since I was talking to the project manager, I just very blatantly asked them, hey, what is going on? Nobody's really explained what this whole deal is. And so I'm going to try to relay this to you the best I can. I don't 100% guarantee the accuracy of this information because it's third hand now at this point. But basically, at the beginning of November, GM, after they had identified the battery faults, had fixed the things in battery production. LG Energy had supposedly fixed all the things in their battery production. GM did restart production of the Bolt for a couple of weeks. I think it was at the beginning of November. So they started building new Bolt EVs and EUVs with the new batteries in them. So these would be vehicles that are not under recall anymore or at all because they have the new updated batteries in them. I saw a lot of speculation online about why these vehicles were being built and what they were going to be used for. But as it turns out, they were being built specifically for customers like myself who are waiting for a vehicle that they've ordered through the trade repurchase efforts that GM has made. And so this inventory, as I said, is not under recall. Sorry, I'm sort of looking at my notes over here. It's not under recall, and it is also not available to any other customer. It's only for those who are waiting for a new vehicle under the trade repurchase program. And so what I was told is that this inventory is being stored at 2 locations right now. One of the locations is in California. That's basically for any customer waiting for a trade repurchase that is west of the Rocky Mountains. And the other location, I believe they said, was in Ohio, and that's for anybody east of the Rockies. And so what I was told is that GM is going to be contacting local dealerships, the ones that, had ordered the vehicles previously for all these customers who are now waiting. And they're supposed to go over the dealership what this whole process is for this new program, inform them of how you can look online to figure out what inventory is available. And then once that's all sorted out with the dealer is supposed to call the customers, have them make an appointment to come down to the dealership, look and see at what inventory is available. And if there is any car in that inventory that is acceptable to those customers to accept as a trade, they would then tag that vehicle for that customer. And then at some point in the future, all of those vehicles that have been tagged would be delivered to the individual dealerships, and then the trade would be done at that point, just the same as, the vehicle that had been ordered for them in the first place. So that basically brings us to this point now. But I did ask them, when is this supposed to happen? And nobody really has a good answer at this point. That's kind of been the overarching theme of what's been going on, is nobody knows. This is a very unusual circumstance, and so they're kind of trying to figure it out, and nobody really knows what to do. And it definitely shows, and it's definitely frustrating. But basically, this all happened on Thursday. The person I talked to said that as soon as they hung up with me, they were going to call my dealership, talk to the person there, get it all sorted out so that I could get started on that process. But because it's Christmas, the person they needed to talk to at the dealership wasn't there. They're not going to be back until Sunday. The manager at GM is not going to be back until Monday. So basically nothing is going to happen for me at least until Monday. But it's better, I guess, than what I had been looking at, where nothing was going to happen until probably spring of next year, if we're being realistic. So anyway, that brings us to today. That's sort of where we're at now. There's still a lot of questions, a lot of unknowns. I don't know if there's anything in their inventory that's going to be acceptable to me. I do know that they have both EVs and EUVs in this inventory, but by the time I get there, is there going to be anything good? How many people have already picked cars? Did they build anything that I'm going to like? Who knows? But anyway, I did want to at least throw a video up online. I haven't put up anything in forever, and I do apologize for that, as I said. Keep an eye out for another video that I'll be updating what's been going on in my life and why I haven't been on YouTube. If you're interested in that, keep an eye out for it. Otherwise, like I said, today's Christmas Eve. This video is going to be going up on Christmas Day. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then Happy Holidays to you. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.